Hey, welcome back, guys. Today we're joined by Adnan and John. Pleasure to have you here.
Hey, it's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Okay, we're going to do the usual predictions of the Premier League. Let's start off with Chelsea versus Man City. What do you think?
I think this is the hardest game for Chelsea, although they have faced Liverpool. But Man City are a different team compared to Liverpool. But Chelsea this season look very strong. And Man City are not looking the best. And as you saw against Southampton, and they're still lacking the striker. And Chelsea defensively are very good with the back five and under Tuchel. So I'm leaning towards a Chelsea 1-0 or a 2-1 win.
Okay, and you, John, what do you think about Saturday's big game?
Definitely, it's gonna be a tough game. Very tough game. Chelsea's quite on form. Man City, on the other hand, I mean, it's a terrifying team. It's gonna be a tough match, but it's gonna be a draw for me. 0-0 or 1-1. Yeah. I hope if they go a draw, then Man U wins and we give them a good cup. That's what I want.
Okay, let's move on. Man United versus Aston Villa. What do you think, Adnan?
And Man United versus Aston Villa. And we are at home in this game. I think we struggle away games, although we have a good run in away games. But and for this season, as fans came back, I think we are stronger at home. So I think this is a pretty hard game, but I hope we will win. And I will go for a 3-0, 3-1 Man United win.
Honestly, that's gonna be a draw or an Aston Villa win because as far as United is concerned, I mean, I don't know. We have so many problems. Yesterday we lost to West Ham at home. I don't know whether it's just that we have a poor record at home, but to be very honest, I don't think we deserve to lose against West Ham. We have every player on form, and for us to lose against West Ham on a cup tie, it's quite embarrassing. I think Ole needs to think twice. Otherwise, this season might be his last season because he has every player he needs. What else does he need? So for me, it's either gonna be a draw. If we win, well and good. If we don't, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, let's move on. Everton versus Norwich.
Everton versus Norwich. I think Norwich already should be relegated. They have nothing in this league. I think they are losing every game. So for that game, it should be an easy Everton win, but Everton are struggling. But I think Calvert-Lewin is I think it's back. But if it's back, I think it will be an easy 3-0 or a 2-0 Everton win.
Okay, John, Everton, Norwich.
Everton struggled in their cup tie. I believe they came from behind to draw. And I think the game went to penalties, if I'm not wrong. Now I stand corrected on that. But for me, Everton has not yet gotten their full form back. They really need to work hard. I don't know what happened to Everton this season and last season if you compared the two. I don't know. Their form has quite dropped. Yeah, yesterday they lost to penalties. They lost to QPR. That's pretty disappointing. So hopefully they can gain their confidence back with a win against Norwich. Norwich, on the other hand, have been on a poor form. I don't believe they have won any match yet. They're on 0 points with a negative something on goal difference, which is quite poor. So I don't know what's going to happen to Norwich, but I hope Everton gets the win, boosts their confidence. So it's an Everton win for me.
Okay, let's move on. Leeds versus West Ham. It's also an entertaining game.
Leeds versus West Ham. I think West Ham are on form and they are a bit unlucky to lose against Manchester United after Nolan missed the penalty. I mean, Noble missed the penalty in the last minute. But West Ham are playing really well. They won yesterday. They knocked out Manchester United. They knocked out. So this should be an entertaining game. But I will go for, I'm leaning towards West Ham win because Antonio is back. So I will go for a 3-2 West Ham win.
Okay, you, John, what's your thoughts on Leeds versus West Ham?
We all know These are two teams with potential to disappoint another team. So for me, it's gonna be a draw, perhaps. Antonio is back, so obviously he's coming back to score a few goals. But I'm sure after their 1-0 win against United in the FA Cup tie, in the Carabao tie rather, that will boost their confidence. So hopefully they can get another win in that league.
Okay. Leicester versus Burnley is next. Adnan?
Leicester versus Burnley. I think Leicester are struggling, but Burnley are really struggling this season. So for Leicester to regain their form, they need to win against Burnley. And I hope they win against Burnley because Leicester are a really good team. So I will go with the Leicester 1-0 win.
Okay, to you, John.
Gonna be an interesting game. Two teams with potential. Leicester, on the other hand, have really dropped their form. I don't know whether they're picking it up yet or not, but I believe they won their cup tie this week. They were playing against give me a few. I don't know who they were playing against in their cup tie, but for me, it's gonna be an interesting game. Probably a win for Leicester. They won their away game against Millwall, actually. Yeah, just remembered in their cup tie this week. So I'm sure that has boosted their confidence, and entering this game is gonna be a Leicester win for me.
Okay. Watford versus Newcastle.
Watford versus Newcastle. I think Watford are playing really well. And as you saw against the last game, they won against Norwich, a 3-1 win. And Newcastle are struggling. They are getting saved by Saint Maximin. But for this game, I'm leaning towards a draw. So I will go for a 1-1 or a 2-2 game.
I mean, Watford lost their cup tie against Stoke City. I think that's really poor. They lost 3-1 at home. So coming into the weekend, I'm sure they'll be trying to bring themselves back to where they were. Newcastle, on the other hand, I mean, their form isn't bad, but isn't good either. So for me, it's probably going to be a draw or a Newcastle win.
Brentford versus Liverpool. What do you think, Adnan?
Brentford versus Liverpool. And Brentford won against the Wolves last game. Although they were 10 men in the last 30 or 40 minutes. But for this game, they are playing against a bigger side, Liverpool, who are, I think, who have been scored 1 goal. So it's really hard to win against Liverpool with this team. So I will go for an easy Liverpool win, an easy 3-0 Liverpool win.
For me, it's also a Liverpool win, even as much as Brentford wants their game against Wolves. They did win with 10 men. But if you would give the same 10 men to Liverpool, I believe they would have received a proper thrashing. So Liverpool is the team to watch on form. I think they've only been conceded 1 goal this season. And also Liverpool won their cup tie 3-0. Brentford did as well. With quite a number, or rather quite a big scoreline, 6 goals, I believe. So it's going to be an interesting match. Liverpool might just be disappointed, so they better enter that game not underestimating the Brentford side. So, but for me, it's a Liverpool win for me.
Okay, let's move on to Sunday's games. Southampton versus Wolves starts the day, Adnan.
Southampton versus Wolves. And Wolves lost their game against Tottenham in penalties, and they lost against Brentford. Wolves are struggling. They are playing really good football, but they are struggling to score. Also Southampton, and they took a really good point against Man City in their last game. So for this game, I'm going for a draw. So I'll go for a 1-1 game.
It's gonna be an interesting game. Two teams with potential. I don't know. I don't even know who to go with, but probably a draw for me. So yeah.
Okay, before we move on to Sunday's big North London derby, let's move on to Monday's games, and then we go back to Arsenal versus Tottenham. Crystal Palace versus Brighton. What do you think, Adnan?
I think Crystal Palace were playing really well against Tottenham, but they struggled against Liverpool. But Liverpool are a big team compared to them. So, but Brighton are playing really well. They are number 4, I think. So this game is a really hard game for them. I will go for a 0-0 draw, a 0-0 game.
Win can go either side. Just depends on how they enter the game. Prepared. So that's gonna be a draw for me.
Okay, now let's talk about Sunday's big game, Arsenal versus Spurs. What do you think?
I think Arsenal are regaining their form. They won against Norwich. They won against Burnley. But those are small teams. So for Arteta to really show that his team are improving, he has to win against Tottenham. But also Nuno is struggling, and against big teams. He lost against Chelsea and he lost against I don't know, the other team. Yeah, Crystal Palace struggle against Crystal Palace. So it's a big match. But for me, I think this for this North London derby, I think it will be a close one. I might go for a 1-0 Tottenham win.
Okay, George, what do you think about Arsenal versus Tottenham?
I think Tottenham are gonna win. I'm gonna go with Tottenham on this one. I don't think Arsenal are still there yet to beat any top 6 team. But we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be an interesting match for sure. But for me, I'm giving it Tottenham. I mean, Kane is back, Son is back. Kane has not scored any goal this season yet. I'm sure that's disappointing for him. So he might just want to return one on a derby. So that's a Tottenham win for me.